Hi, my name is Brian Mayo. We are actually coming to you live from the State Operations Center at Cal OES headquarters just outside Sacramento. Today, day 6 of this operations center being operated 24/7 in response to the wildfires that have affected both Northern and Southern California as of last week. And I'm joined by Brandy Richard with FEMA. We're going to talk today about what's happening, kind of what happened last night and where that leads us. So Brandy, first of all, thanks for joining us. Last night, the president signed an emergency declaration. What exactly does that mean, not only for the areas impacted, but for the people who live there?
So initially we had an emergency declaration. Now we have a major disaster declaration that he signed that allows us to provide individual and public assistance to the area so that they can recover. So that's very helpful for citizens who have been reaching out to us, asking us, how do we move forward? How can we actually apply for FEMA assistance?
Right.
And so now individuals can apply for FEMA assistance.
So for those who have been impacted, the survivors, what do they need to know? Where do they need to go, basically?
So right now we don't have disaster recovery centers set up on the ground in the counties, but that will be happening soon, and individuals will be able to go to FEMA.gov/DRC to find out where those disaster recovery centers are in your area. But today they can go to disasterassistance.gov or give us a call at 1-800-621-3662 to apply for assistance, and we'd be happy to get them registered for assistance.
So people are either going to go online or call that number when they begin this process. What are they going to need with them? What are you going to be asking them for?
We're going to ask them for all their personal information. So
yeah.
Their social security number, the address where the damage actually occurred, not the address of where you're going to be living with your family or whatnot after the disaster. We'll also need insurance information about the insurance that you had on your home or your vehicle or what have you that was damaged, so that we can log that into our system. We'll also ask you for your banking information. And sometimes that's a little uncomfortable for people, but we know after a disaster, we can't send you a check to your old address, and it may be up in the air where you're going to be. So it's very important that you have your routing number and your account information for us when you register, so that any payments that are approved can go directly to you.
After someone registers and gives you that information, what should they expect? What's going to happen then?
We're going to reach out to them and have an inspector to come and view the damages. I know sometimes people feel a little uncomfortable about having an inspector to come out when their home isn't there anymore.
Right.
And they're like, don't you understand?
Right.
My home is gone.
Right.
And so sometimes we'll do a geospatial inspection where an inspector won't have to physically come out, or they'll just have to verify some information. So typically an inspector will reach out to you, and you'll be able to meet that inspector at your home to look at the damages. If that's not possible, if you're not able to get back into the area or those types of things, we have alternative resources to deal with that. Other than that, we may reach back to you via mail or email in your online portal that you'll have set up once you register for assistance. And in that online portal, we may ask you for additional information. One of the critical things that we typically ask for is your insurance information. What did your insurance decide they were going to pay for? What does your insurance say that you're entitled to if a disaster were to happen like this? If you were impacted by a fire, are you going to receive additional living expense and things like that? So we'll be asking you for information like that, which is why it's so important that as you are registering for assistance with us, you also go ahead and submit your documentation to your insurance company for your claim on your home or your vehicle. So then when we come back and ask you those questions, you have that information to submit to us to move your recovery process along a lot faster. So you can expect calls from us. You can expect information from us in your online portal via email, or you can expect mail to come from us if you selected that and you would like information to go to a specified address.
Bottom line, as people move forward, dealing with both you, with FEMA, and with insurance, it's really important to document everything going forward, correct?
Absolutely. You want to document what you've lost. If you have the ability to just take images of what you've lost before you start the cleanup process, we hope that some of you will be able to get back into your homes and have minimal damage. And if that's the case, take photos and go ahead and start the cleanup process, so that when the inspector reaches out to you, you can show them those photos, but you've already started to get your life back on track and get back into your home.
As we speak this morning on this Tuesday, the disaster recovery centers that you talked about aren't physically open yet, the physical brick and mortar buildings, but they will be as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
If someone goes through the process and either calls or registers with FEMA online, should they still visit that disaster recovery center, either servicing Butte County or for the 2 counties, Ventura and Los Angeles down south?
You can go to the Disaster Recovery Center. A lot of times there are other agencies and resources in those disaster recovery centers co-located with us that can provide you with information on food that you may need,
Right.
or other shelter opportunities or other resources that aren't necessarily government or FEMA
Right.
resources that could be available to you. You can also go there to get them to help you to submit additional information that we're asking for
Right.
in your application. Because that's what we're there for. So yes, you can still go to the Disaster Recovery Center, even if you've registered online to get your questions answered.
And to be transparent, the people in this building are working literally 24/7 around the clock. So the information on the physical location of those disaster recovery centers should be coming out as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Follow us all on Twitter.
Right.
And you'll
exactly,
find
yeah.
out.
The sad reality is this is a very difficult situation to begin with, but anytime we see incidents like this, it also brings out the worst in a few people. So what should people be on the lookout for, not to do or to be aware of?
You want to look for people with an actual FEMA badge who have already scheduled an appointment with you. People aren't just going to show up at your home
Right.
and start asking you for information. Be wary of people who call you and just ask for information out of the blue about your disaster when you haven't even registered yet.
Right.
I noticed in the last wildfires, there were individuals who had not registered and had people reach out to them. And that's
not going to happen.
that's a red flag.
Right.
Right. So we want to make sure that you keep your information very close. And one of the things that you can do is go to the Disaster Recovery Center or call us so that you can initiate the communication if you feel like your information has been taken or you don't trust what's
Right.
going on.
Ask
Follow
if you're
your
aware.
gut.
Right. Follow your gut. Great idea. I'm going to give you a chance one more time to plug the website where they can register and the phone number as well.
So go to disasterassistance.gov or give us a call at 1-800-621-3662. You can also follow us on social media. I'm one of the people who gets to manage social media, so we'd be happy to answer your questions if you have questions about the registration process.
We also want to take this moment to mention the fires have impacted a lot of schools across the area. So if you have questions, check with your local school districts. Again, go on social media. You can find out what schools are open, and there are a lot that are closed. So you can monitor what's going on, both open and closed, and also the air quality throughout the entire state. This fire has affected all of us in some way or another. The air quality continues to be bad. So there are N95 masks that are being distributed all across California. You can go to wildfirerecovery.org, and there are links on there to show exactly where those masks are being distributed and where they will continue to be distributed as we move forward. And again, also on that website, we'll have information when those disaster recovery centers do open up. That's going to be a great place for people to go that they want to talk face to face.
Absolutely.
Brandy Richard with FEMA, thank you so much for being here with us today. Clock to get this up and going. We are trying to get people back to some sort of normalcy as quick as possible, as soon as possible. And we'll continue to have updates on our Facebook page at Cal OES and our YouTube page and Twitter account as well. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.